Hi, it's time for the Jimmy Party presidential primaries. I didn't do one yesterday because I was kinda sick yesterday, so I didn't do a lot of stuff yesterday. Um, but we're gonna be doing two Jimmy primaries today, which means that we're gonna go down to the top two Jimmys. There's only four Jimmys left: Jimmy Uso, Jimmy Fallon, Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, and then who else? Yeah, and Jimmy Hart. Those are the last four left. Jimmy Uso's won the first two states. This will be the last primary that will go based on how many states you win. Every other primary after this, we are going to be doing it based on the electoral college. Yeah, we're doing two primaries today. One of which will be the semi-finale, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, let's see who's gonna make it on to the top three, because one person's gonna be eliminated today. Who is it gonna be? I'm surprised Jimmy Fallon has made it as far as he has. Jimmy Fallon has done pretty great this primary. These are the final four Jimmys, so it could go to any of them. Really, it could. It's just a wait and see kind of thing. Jimmy Fallon has won New York, which we're not doing the electoral votes yet, so it's not really a big deal to win New York, but still winning any state is going to be good for him. Jimmy Hart has historically done pretty great. He's definitely done worse in recent primaries, but he's still done decent enough to continue on. Mr. Beast has won New Jersey. Mr. Beast is now in first with 3 states. He has Vermont, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Now Jimmy Uso is tying him for first, winning Delaware. Delaware? I don't even know where that is. I need to stop making that joke. It's just not funny anymore. Jimmy Fallon has won Maryland, which means that he is now tied for first as well. So everyone is winning a lot of states. There's not any clear winner right now, really. Everyone is tied 3 states. Yeah, every single person now has 3 states. Every single one. So yeah, okay, Jimmy Fallon now is in the lead. He has just won Virginia, which now puts him in the lead. But his lead could easily be tied again, Yeah, Jimmy Hart's gonna tie it. Jimmy Hart has won North Carolina, so yeah, Jimmy Hart's tying it, which is cool, I guess. Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast is now tying it, winning South Carolina, which I also believe South Carolina is his state. I think it may be North Carolina, I don't know, but I know it's one of the Carolinas. It's the state he grew up in. Now Jimmy Uso, so they're all tied again, because they all basically just won a state, so they're all tied again. All of them are tied again. Jimmy Uso takes the lead now with winning Florida. But can Jimmy Uso keep this lead? Because it's so close right now. Usually there's a clear winner at this point, but there just isn't. They're all doing great. Okay, Jimmy Uso's won another state. He's won Alabama. Very good news for Jimmy Uso. He's now 2 states ahead of everyone else. That could take some time to, get surpassed. Jimmy Hart has won Mississippi. Jimmy Hart has won Mississippi. Jimmy Fallon has won Louisiana, but Jimmy Hart remains first. Jimmy Uso remains first. But can Jimmy Uso keep his first place? Ooh, looks like Jimmy Uso's gonna win Arkansas. Yeah, Jimmy Uso narrowly defeated Mr. Beast in Arkansas. So Jimmy Uso, he's doing pretty good right now. All things considered. He's definitely in a clear first place right now. Definitely. And everyone else, there's not any clear loser right now. It's so close right now. Wow, this is a close primary. Okay, Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso is definitely, making himself the winner, though. Everyone else is close, but Jimmy Uso is getting further and further and further in first place. Jimmy Fallon is probably Jimmy Fallon just won Ohio, so he's not doing too bad. But he's definitely kind of falling a little bit, like not into a disastrous level, but to a degree that, it could be bad for Jimmy Fallon for sure. It could end bad for Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Uso has won Michigan. Jimmy Uso is doing really good right now. Damn. These people love Jimmy Uso. Okay, there's Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon has won Wisconsin. Jimmy Fallon's won Wisconsin. Mr. Beast has won Illinois. Mr. Beast is definitely kind of falling behind a little bit. So is Jimmy Hart. I think Jimmy Hart is actually probably in last now. So Jimmy Hart's kind of got to win some states. He's not doing disastrously terrible, though. For sure. It's just that Jimmy Uso is doing so good. Like, damn, Jimmy Uso. Take a break, bro. You're winning way too many states right now. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon is doing much better now. He's gotten so much more momentum now. Jimmy Fallon is absolutely chilling right now. Absolutely. Another damn state for Jimmy Uso. Damn. Yeah, I think Jimmy Uso is probably safe this primary, unless he just starts doing terribly. All of a sudden, I think Jimmy Uso's probably gonna stay into the next round. Honestly, Jimmy Uso is doing so good. Jimmy Hart is the one that really needs to start winning a couple states. We're starting to see that Jimmy Hart is very much so struggling. Very, very much so. So Jimmy Hart, kind of needs to win some states. Okay, there we go. Jimmy Hart has won Nebraska. So, Jimmy Hart, it's not over for him. There's still a path that he can take, that he can win, or at least qualify. It's gonna take a lot, though. It's for sure not impossible. Jimmy Hart has won Oklahoma, so he's trying. He's trying to win some states. Okay, Jimmy Fallon's won Texas. Jimmy Fallon's he's falling behind just a tiny bit. Jimmy Uso is also not winning too many states right now, but I think Jimmy Uso is still probably safe for a while. Because he's still absolutely well ahead of Jimmy Hart, which, as long as he's ahead of someone, he's fine. Mr. Beast has won both Hawaii and Alaska, so, that's interesting. Jimmy Hart, though, he's still struggling. Okay, there we go. Jimmy Hart. It's not over for him. He's struggling, but he's trying to hold on. That's for sure. He's struggling, but he's trying to hold on. Mr. Beast honestly might pass Jimmy Uso soon, if he hasn't already, honestly. Jimmy Uso is kind of fallen off. Okay, there's Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso's won Wyoming. Yeah, I think Jimmy Uso and Mr. Beast are probably safe here. They have so many states. Yeah, Jimmy Uso just won Montana. Yeah, I think they're both safe. I think it's going to come down between Jimmy Hart and Jimmy Fallon. But at this point, I think Jimmy Hart is probably done. Unless he just starts winning a ton of states here last minute, he's probably done for it. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon just won Idaho. Yeah. Jimmy Hart had a great run, but it's looking like it's probably... Yeah, Jimmy Fallon just won Washington. It's over for Jimmy Hart. He had a very interesting... he had a very interesting time in these primaries, It was a very interesting person, winning a ton of states at the start and just blowing everyone, out of the competition. And now it's the end for Jimmy Hart, probably. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon is sweeping. Jimmy Fallon is absolutely sweeping over here. It's over. Jimmy Hart can't win. Unless I've done a severe miscalculation somewhere, Jimmy Hart can't win. Jimmy Hart has won Nevada, but I don't think he can win. We can double check after I do California, but I think it's over here for Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Uso's won California. Okay, let's check. I think Jimmy Hart's out here. Yeah. Jimmy Hart has been eliminated. Jimmy Hart had a super interesting, time on this channel. But he unfortunately has been eliminated. The top 3 who will go on to the electoral vote rounds are going to be Jimmy Uso, Jimmy Donaldson, and Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to record the next video right after this one. And then tomorrow will be the finale. Goodbye.